queen issues, mastering queen issues. So get your notebooks out, take some notes. I know some of you are thinking about starting beekeeping next year, 2026. Some of you have started this year. Some of you have been keeping bees since 1803. So we'd like to welcome all of you, no matter how old you are or how advanced you are. Always things to learn or refresh in beekeeping. So let's talk about mastering the queen issues. I've always said, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like it is, that more than anything else, keeping a healthy queen is probably the most important thing. You can control mites and you can, give them room to grow, prevent swarms and all that. But if you don't have a good queen, it doesn't really work either. So you got to start with a good foundation, and that's going to be understanding how to deal with queen issues. So let's talk about the importance of queens. We'd like to welcome all our new viewers today of the live stream. Thank you guys for joining us. So good to have all of you here that are new first timers. And it's good to have, this is a family friendly live stream. So it's good to have the kids and children watching and learning too, along with their parents. And so it's good. And I feel like all of you are my friends. So welcome. So the importance of the queen really boils down to a strong queen keeps the hive supreme. A failing queen ends the dream. I kind of thought of that little rhyme, Yeah. So if you got a really good, strong queen, it's going to work out pretty good for you. But if you have a failing queen, all your dreams of beekeeping are really going to be kind of thrown up against the rocks unless you do something. So I'm going to help you overcome some of the issues. I actually mentor and have mentored hundreds, maybe thousands of beekeepers through Bee Team 6 mentorship program that I run for the last decade. And, I've been able to help people and answer their questions. And I would say a good 75% of the questions that I've gotten over the last decade have been people wrestling with queen issues. So the queen is the most important bee in the hive. Her pheromones actually controls the behavior of all the workers. Her pheromones do. So in other words, the queen mandibular pheromone, it kind of glues the hive together. Socially, they all work together because she's laying the eggs and they don't have to. The female workers don't lay eggs. They can, but they won't if the queen is. And so the queen's laying a couple of thousand eggs a day, and she's really the one thing that determines the future of your hive. Now, think about that. You went out and bought a bunch of stuff. You bought a beehive and a bee suit, and you spent a lot of time buying the right bee suit that looks cool on you, and you bought a cool hive tool and everything. All your equipment is awesome, and you're looking at all the equipment as taking you into the future of beekeeping, but it won't. What takes you into the future is the queen, your ability to keep a strong queen in your hive. And if you don't have any eggs in the hive, the colony has no future. So when you open up a hive, let's talk about what you need to see. What is the things that you should see? What do you want to see? What makes wiping your brow going, shoo, it all turned out good, Okay. It's like when you go to the doctor and, you're worried about something, you have a test ran and the results could go bad or they could be nothing. And you get the results back and it's nothing. And you just kind of wipe your head. Whew, kind of scared me. Well, that's what you want to do with beekeeping. There's a moment when you open up the hive and it all looks beautiful and it's all right. And you wipe your forehead and say, okay, it looks good. Well, what is that supposed to look like? What does, not necessarily perfect, but what do you want to see? First, you want to see that solid brood pattern. You don't want to see this, the real spotty brood pattern. You want to see fresh eggs, and you want to see a lot of eggs. And I showed a lot of those in my last couple of videos this week. And you want to see those eggs that are upright, standing straight up in cells, one at a time, single in the center. And that way, the queen was there recently. You don't have to find her. You just know she laid an egg, so it's all good. You want to see a progression of brood stages. That means you want to see egg, larvae, pupae. And so for those of you that are new and kind of wrapping your mind around it, eggs are the tiny little microscopic, almost kind of pieces of rice in the back of the cell. And then as it hatches into a larvae, it's what many people call a grub that sits on the back of the cell there and eats raw jelly for the first 3 days and worker jelly after that. And then it is capped over. It becomes a pupae. And a lot of people don't know this, but inside that cell, the actual pupa actually builds a cocoon in there. You know what butterflies do, the cocoons that butterflies have. Bees are the same way. Bees in the pupa stage actually build a cocoon in there, and they live until the worker emerges on day 21. That's what you want to see. You want to see that progressive stages of eggs, larvae, pupae. Pupae are capped over. And then what you also want to see is no sign of any swarming. You don't want to see swarm cells. You don't want to see any supersedure cells like they're replacing their queen. And you really want the bees to be as calm as possible. I know some colonies in great shape are still a little defensive, but boy, you want to see a hive that looks like they're busy doing their business. So right there, copy this down or take a screenshot, because that's really what you want to see when you do an inspection. And that's what makes you feel good. Oh, there's my queen, or egg, larvae, pupae. Good. Okay, there's some resources. There's some honey, some nectar, some pollen. It looks good. You don't see any signs of foul play, any insects coming in like yellow jackets. It all looks good, right? Okay. Well, let's talk about the dilemmas. Friends, I wish I could tell you that it's all going to be a bed of roses. We're on the yellow brick road. It's going to be so great. We're going to just hop along and just love beekeeping forevermore, because there's never going to be an issue that succumbs your beautiful hive that you painted so beautifully. Well, I can't promise that, because I know from nearly 30 years of experience, it's challenging at times. So here's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see spotty brood or no cap brood at all. That's scary, right? And, sometimes when you see beautifully capped brood, but you don't see any larvae or any eggs, that's a problem too. Listen, this is important. Some people don't realize this. You might look at a frame of capped brood. It's the whole thing, both sides fully capped over, and you think, oh, good, all is well. I have this beautiful capped over sheet frame of brood. I'm okay. Yeah, you're not. Because if you have capped brood, pupae, that's capped over like on day 9 after the egg was laid, but you don't have anything younger than that, then that means something happened to your queen. Do you see what I'm saying? So you need to look for all stages. That's another way that you can really master the ability to monitor your queen, is looking at her progress and knowing what to look for. You need to see all 3 stages, right? The other thing that you don't want to see when you're doing an inspection, I always like, when I see it, I'm like, oh no, look at this. There's queen cells. So when I see a queen cup or a cell, whatever you want to call it, if it's a cup, it's not been capped over yet, I like to look inside of it. Did you see the video that I made a couple of days ago, I think 3 days ago, where I actually said, okay, look, there's queen cells. They're there. What does it mean? Well, we opened them up. They weren't capped over. I just peeled it back. No egg or larvae. It was there in case of emergency. Just like you guys, you've probably got some extra batteries for your flashlight in case your batteries run out. That's what the bees are doing. They're building an extra queen cage just in case their queen dies and there's an emergency. They can move an egg around or have the queen lay in that or something. But you're going to see these queen cells. Look to see if they're charged, something's in them or not. Another thing you don't want to see, a good sign you don't have a queen, is the hive all at once seems a little ticked off. They're a little more aggressive. Wow, this hive was really nice until today. Now they're all upset. It doesn't really always mean there's a queen issue, but that's another sign that something's wrong. Maybe a skunk is bothering them at night. Maybe they're queenless. And the other thing that's bad is if you have multiple eggs in a cell. That means hasn't been a queen or any brood in there for 21 days. And now the worker bees, because of a lack of pheromone, they're able to lay eggs, a little bit of eggs, and they'll lay 5 or 6 or 8 in every single cell. Multiple eggs in a cell is what you don't want to see. These are the queen dilemmas. Now let's work through some things. Let's talk about the anger issue. Everything is perfect. Let's say you went through an inspection today and it looked great. But you notice the hive is so defensive, so much so that you're starting to question what to do next. You can't work it. Okay. Well, here's how you deal with that. You have to right now decide if you want to handle it. In other words, can I work it even though I know it's awful? I mean, it's perfect, good brood, low mites, no small hive beetle, lots of honey. I love it, but they just tear me up. You have to make a decision. Do I want to keep them? You know, I'm not talking about Africanized bees. I'm just talking about bees that are just really defensive. You don't want to ever keep Africanized bees, but bees that are real defensive. Now, if you can do that, always work that hive last in your bee yard because it's going to make all your other hives join the fight. So work that hive last, okay? And then what you also need to decide if maybe you don't want to deal with that anymore. And if you don't want to deal with it, you just remove the queen. Hard to do, I know, in a mean hive, but you remove the queen and replace her from maybe buy a queen from someone else. I wouldn't really let them raise their own because you're going to still get 50% of the mean genetics. So try to raise, buy a queen from somewhere else and replace that queen. If your hives have anger issues, I recommend not putting up with it because it makes beekeeping not fun. It really doesn't. Now, one of the things that's so common, some of you feel like, I'm so bad at finding the queen, David. You're so good at it. I'm so bad at it. No, it's not that either of us are bad or good at it. Some queens are very elusive. You think you might be able to see them easily. They're bigger. Some of them are got a blue dot on them this year. You think, okay, I can find my queen. And all at once you look through 10 or 20 frames, you don't see her, but you see eggs standing straight up. So where's my queen? Well, she's underneath a bunch of bees. She's in between the little grooves of the wood, in the frame, and it just happens, right? You don't see her. And let's face it, you're trying to look at, 5,000 bees sometimes on one side of a frame and find one, especially if she's not marked. That's not easy for anybody. I don't care if you're a master beekeeper or a 50-year commercial beekeeper. I think if you're a 50-year commercial beekeeper, it's harder to find the queen because it's likely you don't see well at all at that age. And I'm speaking about myself. So, it happens. So sometimes it's challenging during an inspection to find that queen. And I'll tell you, I know from experience, a lot of you feel like you have to find the queen or you can't go to bed at night and sleep good. Put that out of your mind. Please stop feeling that way. All you need to do is make sure that the brood pattern, her work, looks good. And if you see eggs, larvae, pupae, you don't have to find her. She's okay. She's in there. And if she's not, you'll know it on your next inspection because you won't see eggs, larvae, and pupae. But for now, she looks like she's doing her work, okay? But that's what you have to do. It can be really challenging sometimes, but just look for the product of her work. Now, another way is just to wait 10 days. If some of you, many people write me on B Team 6, I can't find my queen. Oh gosh, I think it's going to be over. What do I do? Should I replace her by a new one? I don't know what to do. Well, I always say wait 10 days. Okay, wait 10 days because if you have an elusive queen and you can't see her 10 days later, she might be out from that little crevice she was hiding in, and now she's in the middle. You see her. It could have been you had a virgin queen, and when you did your inspection, she was out on a date, hanging out on the town, hanging out with, trying to find a husband, okay, or 20 husbands. And so you caught her when she was doing what nature called her to do. And you got to wait till she gets mated and gets back in the hive. And now she's home. And okay, 10 days later, I can't tell you, it's kind of a joke, the doctor that says, take 2 aspirins, come back in a week or something. And that does solve a lot of physical problems. But wow, nothing solves beehive problems like waiting 10 days. I'm going to tell you what, right now, I want a lot of you to adapt this philosophy. If you're panicking because you can't find the queen or something's not right or something, please wait 10 days. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you a lot of beekeepers mess things up because at the first sign of something not right, they start doing what either the club told them, what their best buddy told them, what they saw in a YouTube video, what they read in a book, or what their mind just dreamed up. And they do this reacting to something and they make it worse. Please understand, I have monitored this for over a decade of watching people reacting and doing stuff, making it so bad that the hive can't even make a new queen because of how the beekeeper has disrupted it, carrying out queen cells when they shouldn't have. They don't have any egg, so on. You know, you get my point. Please wait 10 days, because when it all comes down to it, the bees are pretty good at making things work. Okay. We're there to help. Yep. But they're pretty good at making things work. Okay. Now, let me tell you about my current dilemma. This might help shed light and make some of you misery loves company. So here we go. I got a hive. I made a lot of videos about it. I made a split early in the year, took the queen out with it. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to put a mated queen in there, a new this year mated queen. 12 hours later, I put a queen in there. And then when I went back, it was just like queen cells, swarm cells, supersedure cells, every cell imaginable, you know, supersedure, emergency, swarms. It was like, okay, are they superseding? Are they swarming? What's going on in here? I didn't see my new queen I put in there, so they ditched her. Somebody said maybe they swarmed with her. Yeah, maybe they did. I don't know. So anyway, now it's time. Well, I've been walking past it. We haven't had the best of weather to do a lot of playing in hives like I want to. Rain, wind, a lot of rain. I mean, it has rained and rained and rained and windy. But anyway, next day that it gets good, I'm going to have to go out there. I'll make a video. But what we're going to have to do is go in there, because they're not flying in and out in the same population that they once did. Something's wrong with the population, which to me triggers either one, I lost half of them in a swarm or a second swarm, or the second thing is they never got a queen established. So now it's time for me to go in there. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to inspect and say, here's how I solve the problem, right? Immediately, I'm going to look for brood in any stage. I need to see eggs, larvae, and capped over. If I see that, I'm going to wipe my brow and say, whew, okay. If I don't see that, and I don't see any cap brood at all, then I know they're hopelessly queenless. There's no way they're going to ever get a queen if I don't see eggs, larvae, or pupae. And then I'm going to have to immediately introduce a mated queen as quick as I can in there. But I'm going to also be looking for queen cells and kind of checking that out. So that'd be a fun video to see. Oh my gosh, what do you do when something looks wrong? How do you fix it? So that'd be a fun video. So yeah, I just said all that tonight. So if the queen is spotted, but the brood looks really weak, like it's not, like that's another thing you can see. You can go in there and look, but you got to make sure that you're looking at young larvae, not just capped over, and you want to make sure it's solid brood pattern. And if I start to see a queen in there, but I don't see a lot of brood, I might wait 10 days, because it might mean a virgin queen or a newly mated queen's gotten going, see. But if I see spotty brood on, all the pupae that's capped over and everything, and I'm probably going to just think, oh my gosh, if it's spotty brood, that may be while they're weak, and it's time to replace her. If she's failing, in other words, and that's why they're weak. So these are some good pointers, I think, for all of you to really consider how to deal with when you have queen issues. And I know a lot of you are here tonight and you have those queen issues that I mentioned. A lot of you are resonating with, oh my gosh, he spoke to my problem. Does he have a microphone on my computer? He's listening to us? No, I don't. I just know beekeeping well enough to know that sometimes it happens. All of this stuff happens to all of us. I don't care how good a beekeeper you are. And you just got to be able to be wise about it and solve queen issues as soon as you can take care of it. Okay. Good teaching tonight. Good to be with you guys tonight. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Tonight, we're going to have a little bit later, going to have our top cover giveaway. We're going to have a spin the wheel. That'll be fun to do. But let's go ahead and jump into a question time. By the way, thank you all for your donations tonight. my high-speed internet that enables me to live stream or have internet where I live right now, it was so expensive. And I just got to notice this week that it doubled in price. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. So your donations help fund the mission. So we appreciate your donations to the live stream. All right, let's jump into some question time. Let me see what I can do to help you guys out tonight with the questions. The bees in my top bar hive were bearding heavily and then went into swarm formation, and then they returned. Does this signal from the event and when I may expect it to happen? I know, ask the bees. You know what? It can be that from that top bar hive, they did attempt a swarm, and the queen didn't go with them because she's not really someone that jumps out and goes with the swarm. She has to be nudged out of the hive. And so she may not have made that. They may not have got her out. And they realized it and went back in. Oftentimes, sometimes beekeepers see this, what I call an orientation or a play flight. A newly aged group of bees are getting ready to forage, and so they take an orientation flight. It looks like a swarm. Happens in the afternoon. It's pretty beautiful. But the trick to that is more bees are facing the hive, even though they're all flying around. They're facing it rather than pouring out of it. When you see a swarm, it looks like somebody put a water hose in there and they're just spraying out bees. But a orientation flight or a play flight, they're facing the hive. Could be, maybe you're seeing that too. Hey, Dan. Oh, thanks for being a member of B Team 6. Appreciate having you, Dan. You've been binge watching me. Yep, thank you. My goal is to get through winter. When you do hive inspections, have you ever taken the boxes off, then inspected as you reassemble the hive? And I'm sure I've done that. And the reason why we do it by taking one box off, looking at a box, removing it, taking another box off, is to keep the bees as calm as possible. If you're the big bear that tears the hive all apart and now you want to put it back together and slowly inspect it, you can see where I'm going with this. The bees are going to get pretty rambunctiously defensive. It's better to sneak up, go slow as you can in the beginning. And then as you get towards that bottom inspecting of that, they're going to get more rowdy, and then you can quickly put it back together. Yeah, it's to keep the bees calmer. Your way might rile them up a bit. Yeah. Hey, Doug, if time allows, please discuss queen introduction techniques for maximizing introduction success. Hey, thanks, Doug. I made a video on how to do that, many videos, but I have one where I talk about the orientation of the queen cage. And I simply would think the best way to do it is put her in the brood area, put her in a queenless hive, no virgin queens. Be sure you are queenless, no cells or anything. If the beehive beats you and they start raising queen cells, they will not accept your highly purchased VSH, big time spoken, bragged about queen. They will kill her. They don't know she's so special as much as you do. So make sure you are queenless. Hey, Gary, good to see you. And sorry to hear you're conflicted. When do I make rotations in my entrance reducers? Should I stay small all the time? People are really, they feel like they really need to stick to some kind of rule, I guess, about the entrance. There is no rule about the entrance. I've said many times before, I've taken big, gigantic hives out of homes where just a little piece of mortar, a 1/4 inch wide by an inch, broke off, and they have tons of honey in the wall, sheets and sheets of honey. It doesn't slow the bees down. They just quickly go single file. Now, I feel like if you leave it wide open and you live in an area with a bunch of, small hive beetle, yellow jackets, wasps, mice, raccoons, skunks, and all that, you're just leaving the front door wider open for everything to come in. A little bit of reduction is going to help. But I don't know if there's a real scientific way to do it. I think for me, you probably watch my videos, I'm mostly keeping my hives wide open right now. It just, nothing's bothering them and they're having fun. Yeah. Don't overthink it, Gary. Hey, Mark, my bees are going through a gallon of 1-to-1 sugar water within 4 days. Is this normal? The bees seem to be healthy as I'm about ready to add my honey super already. No, I think they're taking all that one-to-one sugar water, building out frames, probably growing a colony of bees. So be sure and take that off before you start collecting your honey, or you'll have sugar honey. Thank you, Marcy, for your donation, and all of you that are donating. Hey, Gary, when installing a queen, screen side up or down, thanks for the help, all of us. You're inspiring everyone. You're referring to a Benton 3-hole queen cage that has a screen on it, or California mini cage that has a screen on it. The other, like a Jay's Bees plastic cage, doesn't have a screen. I kind of prefer the Jay's Bee plastic cages, so I grew up using the Benton 3-hole cages. You don't want to cover that screen up. I feel like the bees need air, although the Benton 3-hole queen cage, it does have slots in the edges, the sides. And that's in case the beekeeper does jam the screen into the comb, the bees can get a little breath in there. Thank you, Alex, for your donation tonight. And so I would say try to wedge it where the screen of that Benton cage is not covered up. Yeah, that's a good question. That's kind of tough sometimes. All right, Michael, let's see, watching the clock here. I have a resource nuke. The queen is laying eggs like crazy. Once the queen has filled up a frame with brood, can I move it directly over to another full-size hive without causing either hive issues? I've been asked that question before. The only thing I can tell you is that in my experience, it works really great. I have made videos of me doing it, and the bees don't fight. I said, let's do it. See if the bees fight. They get along fine. They shake hands. You know, they sign a contract that they'll get along forever. They give each other drinks, pat on the backs or wings, and they live happily ever after. I think as the season progresses, you get deeper into late summer and fall. They get a little more protective. It might be a little more challenging. But right now, swapping frames with bees on it between hives works for me. That's all I can tell you. Try and see. Yeah, I don't own the corner of all information. Hey, Ross, thanks for your donation. Swarm hive from May the 4th finally got mated. Oh, finally got a mated queen today. Boy, that took a minute, didn't it? You must live in the kind of climate I do. Thinking we're adding a second brood frames for a boost. Oh, 2 capped brood frames for a boost of that hive. Do I shake the nurse bees off first? Leave the bees on there, Ross. And the reason I like your thinking, good critical thinking skills. Don't move open brood like eggs or larvae, because that's going to be more liability of feeding and keeping them all that, you know. Capped over brood, you just got to keep warm. So keep those bees on there, keeping them warm. Yeah. And they're going to be emerging any day and joining the workforce. This is like hiring a whole bunch of people to come work for you. That's great. It helped that hive a lot. Do bees sleep? Bees will rest just like humans do. I don't think they, fluff up their pillows, set their alarm clocks, and get a solid 8. I do think they rest. You see them in your buildings. They're sleeping upside down and they're hanging out there, and they are very inactive. Yeah, they do rest just like we do. They go through cycles like that. Hey, Larry, here in Central Washington, we're expecting unseasonably heat this weekend. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my gosh. Anything special I should do for the bees? I'm making sure plenty of water is easily available. Thanks. Let's provide shade, Larry. 4x4 plywood on top of your hive with a brick on top of that. That will give shade between 10 and 2. And water, keep water on them. They will stop foraging for nectar and forage only for water, bringing water back in the hive for evaporative cooling of the brood area. Anthony, good to see you tonight. Thank you for your donation. David, your videos and classes have tremendously helped me to be more bee successful. Much thanks. Well, thank you, Anthony. It's always good to hear from you. Yep. Enjoyed seeing you last time I spoke in North Carolina. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for your donation. What is the truth on how far from the hive will foragers travel? Wild honey flowers are dying up here in Texas, but bees are very active. I just do not know what they're bringing in. Okay, so studies have been done. I remember reading this study so many years ago. I don't know if it's been updated. They put flowers in the desert on a trailer, and they kept driving further and further away. And when they got to about the 12-mile mark, it wasn't worth it for the bees to go that far and get anything because they have to use so much energy of the nectar to fly back, right? So they just drain the gas tank. But traditionally, we always say 2 to 3 miles is so optimal for bees. That's where they want to go. But if they have to, they'll go farther. Absolutely. Hey, Ryan, thanks for your donation tonight. 13.75 minutes of internet paid for. I don't know if that equates right or not, but it certainly helps. I'm so upset. I'm going to have to really think of a different way to do this. I don't know if I can fund that amount of money for that internet service, but there's no other option. It's crazy. They've got me, over a barrel. But thank you. I do appreciate that. Hey, Austin, thank you for your donation. Guess who harvested 10 gallons of honey off of 4 supers last week? Wow. I sold a 16-ounce bottle just to send you this message. Well, thank you. You guys are a hoot. Love you, David. 3rd-year beekeeper from South Carolina. Learned so much from you early on. Well, thank you. When I speak at conferences, so many of you tell me that I helped you get started in beekeeping. That's very rewarding. I appreciate all that. Yeah, for sure. Guys are the best. Carl, are drone layer drones fertile? And if so, are the genes their grandmother's genes? Well, that is a complicated question for me this late in the night. So, drones don't have a dad. They only have a grandfather. And so I do kind of want to go the grandmother thing there. But anyway, are drone layers drones fertile? Wait a minute. Drone layer drones. Oh, you mean like a queen that's laying unfertilized eggs? She's laying drones. Are those drones fertile? Yes. All drones are going to be drones are drones. That's the male gamete. That's the male sperm. They're going to be able. They probably don't perform as well in the comet of the drone congregation area if they're raised smaller in the worker size cell. But yeah, they will be able to produce sperm and mate. Absolutely. Yeah, getting into genetic questions. Should I remove the swarm cells? Only remove swarm cells, Robin, when you know that there is a queen in the hive that is there laying eggs. If you don't see a queen, then they might be raising a queen to replace a swarm that left with the queen. Okay. But if you see a queen, cage her for a minute and knock down the swarm cells. Yeah. Hello, Brian. Good to see you. Thanks for your donation. Yeah. If I want to split, but don't have the land for having the new hive 2 to 3 miles away, I have 1/3 of an acre. Well, I'll still be able to do that. Brian, did you see the video that I made this year? Oh my gosh, it was so helpful. I put a big, huge piece of metal when I moved to split about 20 yards away, and it worked so magnificently beautiful. I did not lose one forager. In fact, I think some foragers from the original hive gave up the original hive and wanted to be in my split. They love that piece of metal so much. I'm kidding. But I mean, it was just, yeah, I didn't lose anything. So as long as you put something big, an inch or two right in front of the opening. I'm talking about right there, man. They got to see it and be bothered by it. It's going to help. Hey, David. Oh, you became a YouTube member tonight. Great. I'll see you Sunday. Look for a link. I'll be sending you guys a link that are becoming members, and we'll have a meeting this coming Sunday at 7. David, have you heard about the treatment-resistant mites? Is that the reason the loss in the hive is so high? Boy, that's a hot subject for me. I've been on Master Beekeeper forums talking about this. I'm not at liberty to say everything I know, to be honest with you. I will say this. I think that to jump to the conclusion that just because we are finding that some mites have become resistant to Amitres and equating that to why all the bees died, I can't buy that because not everybody uses Amitres. Amitrez is also in Apivar, for example. But for years, for 2 or 3 years, in my circle of master beekeepers and commercial beekeepers, they've been telling me that they have been finding that their Amitrez is not working like it used to. But I think there's what is it, Amitrez, Apivar 2.0. I mean, it's changes being made. I'm just not at liberty to talk about that. I think the loss last year of the beehives is a lot more. But yeah, I think mite resistant bees. Look, every time you treat mites and not all of them die, you run the risk of the ones that survived being able to continue to raise offsprings that can resist that treatment. Absolutely. And you can know this because every treatment that you use has an efficacy, and it will say 80%. That means 20 of them, 20% aren't dying. 90%, 10% aren't dying. So that's a concern. But I think there's a lot more to it than that. All right, let's go ahead and let's do what I want to do next. Oh, I want to thank, first of all, Morgan. I don't know if you're watching tonight. Morgan, I want to thank you for sending me and Sherry this rechargeable neck fan. You must have watched a video where I almost passed out from the heat. So thank you for sending me this neck fan. That sounds really good. It's not been hot enough to wear it yet, but I'm going to. All right, let's play spin the wheel, okay? So here we go. Let me get it on the camera. All right. It's time. It's time for spin the wheel. I'm talking to myself here. All right, so a lot of things can happen here, a lot of fun things. You could win a Zoom meeting with me. You can ask us something personal. Sherry's here, Robbie's here, Jessica's here. If it lands on personal, you can ask us a personal questions. Don't ask us something about bees. You can do that anytime. Ask us something personal. If it lands on the Beak Squad, then we're going to have a giveaway. And we have a viewer spotlight, some bee anatomy stuff. So let's see where it's going to land tonight. I like spin the wheel. It's kind of fun. I used to have a waggle dance on there, and that was a lot of fun. I had to do a waggle dance. It landed on that. Okay, it landed on a giveaway. We are giving away tonight a book that a publisher asked Sherry and I to write in 2020. And this book is called Backyard Beekeeping, Everything You Need to Know to Start Your First Hive. And the winner will receive this book. You have to live in the lower 48 states for us to ship it to you, but you'll receive an autographed copy. Sherry wrote half of this book, and I wrote the other half. Sherry pretends that she doesn't know as much as me, but the truth is, I think she knows a little bit more about bees than I do, but she's kind of like an undercover expert. She's keeping it quiet. She makes me answer all the questions. So anyway, this is a great book. A lot of good images in it. The publisher, I think, did a great job of not just, it's our story, and it's about how to start and everything. This would be good. So let's go ahead. All you need to do to try to win this autographed book tonight is to put #book in the comment section, all lowercase, #book, and it'll be your chance to win this book tonight, and we'll get that shipped out to you. We'll spin in just a moment. So go ahead in the comments, #book. So nice to see so many of you. We're bumping 800 of you joining into the room tonight. So I really appreciate all of you so much. What can a young beekeeper do to make money starting in beekeeping? Oh, I think it's so important. One of the most important things you probably need to learn to do right off the bat is keep healthy bees, and then they can make honey for you. And I think that's probably the simplest way in the beginning for a young beekeeper is to take that honey, bottle it up, and have fun selling your honey. And then as you get more established, you can get into more things like maybe raising queens to make money or making nucleuses to make money. But right now, if you're just getting started, you're kind of young, focus on selling honey and maybe other products from the hive. Hey, Casey, how do you know how many hives your area can support? Yeah, I don't think anybody knows that because we really don't know where the bees are going. If they can go 5 or 10 miles away, if they have to, I take Google Maps, I take a circle and draw with a 3-mile circle around my area and say, maybe I have to drive around. What kind of pastures, what kind of black locust trees do I have? Yeah, things like that. That's about the only way. You have to do your own homework. By the way, I've been calling it a black honey tree, but that was an accident. It's called black locust. They're the ones that make the big white pods. Let me see if I can do the scientific name. Stand by. Robinia pseudoacacia. Ooh, I can't believe I did that. That's the name of the black locust tree that makes so much honey for bees this time of the year. Wow. All right. Okay, Robbie, let's go ahead and see who is going to win the backyard beekeeping book. Backyard beekeeping. Robinia pseudoacacia. Pseudo means fake, so it's a fake acacia wood tree. Looks like an acacia tree, but it's not. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Let's see who will win. And then we're going to have our big top cover giveaway. So stay tuned for that. And that's Stephen Lee and Grandma's and Block. Oh, Pam. Okay, there you go. Pam, thanks for trying to win our book. Pam, you need to be sure and email us within 24 hours at the email address scrolling across the bottom of your screen, beaksquadwinner@gmail.com, and we'll get this book shipped right out to you. Give it a minute to be shipped to you. We ship these a lot through the post office, and our post office made a big boo-boo. So if you've ordered these recently from us and it's taken longer than you expect, it's not our fault. Our post office called and they said, we made a big boo-boo. It's going to take a long time. I was nice. Hey, no one is perfect. All right, let's go ahead and do our giveaway for our big, beautiful copper colored top cover. It's not a copper top because they look terrible after a while. They get all patina, but look at that. That's beautiful. It's for a 10 frame hive. Please don't try for it if you don't live in the lower 48 states. We're going to have to ship this thing and get it to you. So I love it. That's what you're getting right there. It's made by a fellow Stevie King over in Rockville, Indiana. He makes a lot of our products at his company there. And he makes those. So if you don't win tonight, you can talk to Stevie over there at King Bees, Rockville, Indiana. And I'm sure he would love to sell you one. But we're going to give one away tonight. So hashtag top is going to be the winner tonight. Hey, Sandy, would you advise putting a new queen in a queenless hive that is currently being treated with Formic Pro? If you can hold off, I would hold off at least 5 days from the time you start. Most of that Formic Pro is not going to be much too volatile after the 5-day period, but I'd wait a little bit just in case there is some, if she's in a cage, she can't move out of the vapor zone, right? If she can walk around, then I think she could start coughing and move out of the way. But caging her may not work. Yeah, wait if you can. Good question. Andy, trying to do a walkway split, waited 30 days, saw evidence of queen cells chewed open from the side. No evidence of a laying queen yet. If no queen, should try again and move over a frame of eggs. Chewed open in the side means that a queen did emerge. She and her partners in crime actually were authorized to tear those down because they had a queen. So you have a queen. You're just going to have to keep waiting another 10 days. Thank you, Ron, for your donation. Super sticker tonight. Appreciate that so much. Oh, yeah. Do bees move eggs to sell? The jury is out on that kind of. Some books that I read say, yes, bees can move eggs and put them in queen cups. Other people say, no, the queen lays in them. I kind of think smarter brains than me have said, yes, they do. So I kind of think they can with their little mouth parts. Oh, hey, Mike, how are you? Thanks for a donation tonight from Michigan. Ever heard of temporarily putting a medium super between two deeps to get the bees to draw out the comb? You're asking me what I've made tons of videos doing? I've made videos of me doing that. You have not binge watched me, have you? Like the other persons. Yes, I answered that question last week on my live stream follow-up. I do that. I've showed videos of me doing it. I know you can't watch all my almost 1,000 videos I've made, but yes, be careful to get it out of there though. The queen's going to lay in there as soon as you can too. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, guys, let's do the top Let's see who will win the beautiful top today. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this top getting into the hands of somebody that wants to beautify their hive. Thank you, Red Beard Hives. All right, who's going to win the beautiful top today? Let's give it a spin and see. All right. Robbie's making suspense on us. Okay, here we go. Just because you see your name go by, it'll come around again. Doesn't mean you lost. Who is it going to be? There you go. BCS Bird. You're the winner of the top, the copper top, the 10 frame. I hope you enjoyed that. My goodness. So email us within 24 hours, beaksquadwinner@gmail.com, and we'll get that shipped out to you as soon as possible. Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Let's take a few more questions. The night is still young. We got a few more minutes to help you guys out. Let's have a rapid fire question time. See if you can put these up here pretty fast here. 2 resource nucleus says, hive started this spring from packages. I need a queen for a production hive. Should I take the queen from the weak or strong resource hive? Take it from the strong one. Yeah. Thanks, David and Sherry. Thank you for donation. Appreciate it. I just changed out my old hive for a new one, and my bees are on the outside bearding. Is that normal? Not really, but maybe they're used to a smell that is different now. We'll see if that settles down after a minute. Hello, Ohio. How soon after emerging from their cells do bees take their orientation flight? About 23 days. Austin, what are the chances of my colony not accepting a new queen? Should I purchase 2 for just in case? Oh, I don't think I would do that, because then you got to, if they do a good job, what are you going to do with that one? I would just, learn to raise your own queens or just get one. They'll do fine. Oh, thanks for becoming part of the YouTube channel. That's great. Matthew, could having a lot of ant colonies where you live naturally reduce mites in your area? From experience, from somebody that has a lot of ant colonies around my beehives, no, it doesn't affect that. Ants don't eat mites. No, I don't think so. Dead mites, probably. Our county sprays for mosquitoes via helicopters. That's not good. I signed up to get alerts before they spray. What steps should I take to protect my hive? Move them out of the area if you get a notice, or cover them with wet blankets or something when they're spraying. Don't suffocate them. But, cut down on that spray. It is nasty. It will get into the beehives on a calm night. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's not good. I'd move them out of there. Which do you prefer? Solid bottom board or screen bottom board? Yes. Both of them. I love both of them for different reasons. Kind of like both. Yeah. Sorry, that's not a good answer. They both work fine. Green drone comb. If I'm unable to be there when the drones emerge, is it possible it will be doing more damage? I travel for work. I'm afraid I'll miss the pulling of the green drone comb. Yes, it will. You'll be raising mites. About 2.6 mites for every cell, and the green drone comb will emerge instead of you killing them. Hold off until you can schedule that being frozen at the right time. Does a larger queen cell indicate more healthy queen? Yeah, I'm going to say, 60%. Yeah, I think it does. Not always, but I've seen some very small queen cells that didn't have good queens in them. So yeah, I think larger cells kind of makes me feel better. What's the most productive thing to help provoke population growth? A healthy queen, a good laying queen, laying a couple of thousand eggs a day, and good resources in your area. Are you feeding them? That's all it takes. A good queen and food. That's all animals. All animals do good if you feed them. Can worker bees be raised in drone cells after they're used for drones? If yes, will they be capped like a worker cell? Boy, that is a good question. I can't say that I've ever seen, worker capped over on drones. Almost all drone cells that I see are used in the future for drones, but I'm not an expert on that one. But I'm leaning toward not really. No, not so much. I just see it abandoned. Hey, Rich, thanks for being a YouTube member for 6 months now. David, always appreciate you and the team. and your enthusiasm and wisdom you pass on to all of us. Well, I am enthused. Yep. And I try to be as wise as I can. Wow. Let's take 2 more questions. Hey, Jennifer, I've had honey supers on 2 hives and the bees have not built any comb for at least 6 weeks. I even removed the queen excluder. Any ideas? Maybe it's a source of the frame. Some frames you can buy from some companies, they don't pull it out very good. Okay. Maybe you can add your own wax to it. This is not a paid promotion. I don't get any kickback and I don't sell this product, but I like Acorn frames, Acorn Foundation. I would use those in my supers. Again, I don't sell them. I'm not promoting them, but I'm just saying they work really good. Yeah. One more. Hey, Jason, could you please elaborate on not open feeding your bees sugar water when honey super is on? Does it harm honey production or is it more of a fake honey issue? Thanks. Yeah, anytime I've got my honey supers on, I want honey nectar from the nectaries of flowers, not from my sugar water. So that's really the reason I never feed bees when I'm gathering honey up. Well, you really don't need to anyway, right? Yeah, and so it's not a good idea. Let's see. If anybody has not taken the Ultimate Beekeeping Course, it's a great idea, worth every penny. It's helped me immensely and gave me greater confidence. Thank you so much, Casey. I appreciate that, and thank you for your donation. Friends, it is time for us to say thank you. Wow, what a great live stream tonight from all of you. You have been fantastic as usual. You are known as Beak Squad, as you can see behind me. We have a lot of Beak Squad merchandise. If you like cups and hoodies and things, shirts to wear and all, if you want to be a part of the Beak Squad, you can oftentimes see that scrolling down below right now. And become part of the Beak Squad, wear our merchandise. It's a big help. So yeah, it's great seeing so many of you. I've made a ton of videos and I hope you'll keep watching my videos. I want to thank Sherry and Robbie and Jessica for a fantastic night tonight, making it all work. And all of you, you're wonderful. I love you guys to the moon and back. I'm doing my best to work so hard for you guys, making so many videos to help you. I really am. I've worked my skin to the bone, literally, to make videos for you. I hope you're enjoying them. Thank you for giving back to my work that allows me not to have to work in a grocery store. Instead, I can make videos for you. I appreciate that. Okay. So all your donations tonight are so well received. And I thank you so much. We put it back into giveaways and paying the bills to make the live stream possible. So much appreciated. Love you guys so much. You're my friends. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next video.